And welcome back to the Soul Pod. This is Stacy. Do you ever have one of those moments where you agreed with the group, even though you really didn't agree with the group? Someone said, "Oh, this is how I feel about this," and it seemed like the majority kind of felt that way, and you're like, "All right." So you either agreed or just didn't say anything, just sort of stuffed what you truly believed. If that's you, if you ever had that moment, and I think most of us have, this video's for you. We're going to test whether or not you're falling into the trap of groupthink. Ralph Waldo Emerson, more than 100 years ago, said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." We're going to come back to this quote because it's big. It's big. And it talks about this whole concept of groupthink in a more subtle way, more broad way, but it makes a solid point that we've known for a very long time. And that's it's an easy trap to fall into. You see, our beliefs, they feel like they're ours. But are they? Are they really ours? Our beliefs are affected by things like our environment. Like when I talk about our environment, I mean like the city you live in, the country you were born in, social media, your workplace. Um, let's say you were born and raised in a city like San Francisco or Seattle. You're much more likely to be liberal. Now, is that because you decided to be liberal, or because the vast majority of people are liberal, and that influences you? If you're born in a red county in Texas, you're much more likely to be conservative. Is that because it's the right choice, or is that because the majority of people are there, and so you're going to skew that direction because it seems the norm? You see, it's the same thing. See, we are influenced. Now, I'm not saying that one or the other is better. What I'm saying is recognizing that you're actually influenced by your location, by your environment, is where you kind of break free from groupthink. Now, you don't have to break free from everything that everyone agrees with. Clearly, some things we can all agree on. Some things it doesn't matter that much whether you agree with them or not. Uh, but other things might really matter. But what matters most is that we recognize when we're being influenced by outside influences. That's the most important thing because this is our journey, right? Do you follow me? Another example I want to share is that if you were born in India, you're much more likely to be Hindu, almost exclusively Hindu or Buddhist, right? Is that because Christianity is horrible? No, it's because you were raised in an environment where this is what people do. In the US, you're much more likely to skew Christian. In Muslim countries, you're more likely to skew towards Islam. Again, it's the influence of the location that you're in. Now, there's a reason for this. It's that we instinctively crave belonging. And this goes back to our earliest evolution when being part of the group mattered. Whereas the difference between survival or not, if you think of tribal times, cave times, times when we were hunter gatherers, which by the way is the vast majority of human existence on Earth, all sapiens for that matter, being part of the tribe mattered. And if you fell out with the tribe, if you were the odd man out, odd woman out, you might not survive. I mean, this is a deep reflex, right? A survival instinct. But see, we're advanced now, and we don't have to agree on everything. And the tribes are becoming very splintered and large. It's not like we're living in groups of 50 or 150 now. We're living in vast groups, cities with millions of people in some cases. So it's important to be a free thinker. It is important to make your own mind up from your information and not just go along with the crowd. Because when you do, you'll know you're being true to yourself. And you also, when you're not being true to yourself, you know it as well on an instinctive level. When you're BSing yourself, when you're stuffing it, when you're holding back, when you're going along to get along, you lose respect for yourself on some level. And that matters. You see, standing apart takes courage, I mean, real courage, because there is that deep, reflexive fear of being cast out. Even though we don't think about it actively, it's happening inside of us. Think about any time you've ever felt like you were judged by someone, like you were shunned by someone. It's one of the most horrible things that can happen. One of the greatest punishments you can give someone in prison, and probably the most barbaric, is solitary confinement. It's because we are social creatures. We don't want to be shunned. We don't want to be cast out. We want to be part of. And this is why this matters. And this is why we go along when we don't really agree. So if you are in a place where, a workplace, or maybe you're on city council, or maybe you're in a PTA, or maybe you're in a group of friends, or whatever it is, a coffee group, and you're just agreeing so as not to stand out or be judged, consider whether it serves you better to agree or better to stand your ground. And not in a rude way, but simply state your truth. To say, hey, you know what? I don't agree, and this is why. Let's talk about the differences. You don't have to be rude to disagree. It's a wonderful opportunity to open up a conversation about differences, because it's real easy to go down the wrong road and everyone just keep agreeing right into a hole. There's horror stories about this in history. No need to go into them. Use your imagination. So I want to offer a tool. So here's a tool you can use to start testing this. When you start agreeing with something, ask, is this my belief, or am I just following the crowd? Am I just following the crowd? Is this my belief? Ask yourself. And if the answer to this is, it's not my belief, ask yourself what you're going to do about it. So own your thoughts and take this challenge with you. Try it at least once this week. And next time you see that, and perhaps it'll come to mind in that moment where you're about to agree. You'll hear me saying, is it? And then you'll probably go, damn you, Stacy. But take the challenge and ask yourself the question, is this my belief, or am I just following the crowd? Ralph Waldo Emerson, as I started with, said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. It is the greatest accomplishment. Isn't it? Here you are, going along to get along. But those who have the strength to stand up against and say, no, this is why I disagree. Don't you respect those people? Don't you? Doesn't it look fearless in some way? Be one of those people. Maybe it is the greatest accomplishment. Just be yourself in the world that's trying to make you something else. Thanks for being here. I'll see you on the next video. If you haven't checked out the Soul Podcast yet, do that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that.